thank you so much for coming here on a Wednesday afternoon, 3:30 p.m., taking out all your time from your busy schedules. And welcome to all the wonderful women there who are looking forward to create a life that they love, and women who want to make their identity, who want to create a mark in this world. So welcome and thank you so much once again to join me here. And today we are going to talk about how you as a woman can make empowering decisions. Decisions are an important part of our life, which we make every single day of our life. Yeah, and that takes us way forward into a lot of things in our life, into a lot of your future decisions. A lot of your future is going to be impacted on the decisions you're going to make today. So today we're going to talk about two main important things: how your choices will determine your future, and what are the factors to consider while making your decisions. So this is going to be a very interactive discussion. Let me tell you, we are not going to have a monologue. It's going to be a dialogue. I may not be able to see the questions you're posting. I will get the questions that you're asking, and I'll try my best to answer everything that you're asking. So put in your comments and let me know who's there, and do you really are you ready to take up empowering decisions in life to build a future that you love, that you dream of. So welcome once again. Let's start with the most important topic that affects and impacts every entrepreneur, every mompreneur, and every woman who is aspiring to create a future for herself. So before we start, let me introduce myself. I'm Smita Nair. I work with women who dream to create a life for themselves, who are passionate, who are enthusiastic, and who have a dream, who want to really create a future for themselves. Women who are aspiring, women who are passionate about life, women who are either entrepreneurs or are aspiring to be entrepreneurs. I work with women who are passionate in life and help them create a life and living that they love. I help them achieve success in every area of their life, and that's what I work with women with. Now, what is success in every area of life? Success is not just about how much money have you earned. Success is not just about what position have you been in your career. Success is about how much joy have you had in life. How fulfilling do you feel about your life? How content do you feel about every area of your life? Success is about what contribution have you made to the world and to people in this world when you were present here, and that's what success is about. And that's where we focus on 360-degree success coaching, which is success in every area of your life. Now, why am I telling you about this? Because the minute the word success comes, the next word that comes with success is decisions. As each decision that you're going to make today is going to decide what your success is going to be in the future, is going to decide how your future is going to be. Yeah, so let me ask you this question. Do you remember the time when Sachin Tendulkar made his first century? Do you remember the time when Barack Obama was elected as a president? Do you remember the 2008 attacks that happened in Mumbai? Do you remember the 9/11 attacks that happened? Do you remember the launch of the first iPhone? Where were you at that time? Where were you when the world was cheering for the century of Sachin Tendulkar? Where were you when the 2008 attacks happened? Where were you when the launch of iPhone was announced? What were you doing when you read it in the media? What were you thinking? Do you remember the loss of Michael Jackson that we all experienced? It was a huge loss for the industry, for the world, and a lot of the fans mourned. What were you doing at that time? Where were you? Who were your friends? Where were you? What were your dreams? What were your hopes? I'm talking about a time which is almost 10 years back, or maybe little back, 10 to 15 years older, a time which was 2008, so from 2000 to 2008. These are all incidences which have happened in that period. I want you to, for a minute, go back and remember and write down in the comments. Let me know. Tell me, what were your dreams? What were your hopes at that time? If someone would have asked you then that what would you want to be 10 to 15 years from now, at that point, which is 10 years back, which was in 2008 or 2000 or anywhere between that period, If someone would have asked you what would you be wanting to become 10 years from now or 15 years from now, what was your answer at that time? I want you to, for a minute, pause yourself now and ask this question to yourself. What had you answered at that time, or what had you thought at that time will your life be, and how did you want your life to be? Write down in the comments. Let me know what did you think, I'm trying to find if I can see your answers here, otherwise I'll get to know what your answers are. So let me just check. So let me know who all are there with me. Tell me what were your answers. What did you want to be 10 years from now? What did you want to be 15 years back? What were your dreams for your own self? Let me see if I can see your answers. Yes, I think I can see all. Yes, lovely. So tell me, write down in the comments, tell me what was it. And today we are 10-15 years ahead of time. You have come to that time. So have you achieved what you said you would want to achieve? Have you reached where you wanted to reach? Have you conquered your dreams? Have you achieved them? Are you already there? Like 2008 was the year my daughter was born. And for me, it was one of the most important years of my life. It was a turning point of my life. The decisions I made from then, is where I am standing today. Today, I'm everything because of the decisions I made at that time. Today, everything I have achieved, everything I've conquered, the major decisions, standing up and thinking to myself, the point where I'd hit and reached the point of suicide, where I thought of giving up my life, that was a point of 2008 and 2009. And there came a time when I rethought on my decision. I rethought and I asked myself, Smita, how would you want your life to be? And today I'm asking you this question. How would you want your life to be? Would you want to see your daughter 10 years from now? Would you want your daughter to see life as difficult? Would you want your daughter to think that life was so bad that my mother gave up? Or would you want to be an inspiration to all the daughters in this world? Would you want to be known as a person who did face challenges, who did go through tough times, who was not happy, who was at a very worst phase of her life, but stood up and conquered it and created victory for her own self? That was a point when I decided to walk out from a non-empowering marriage, from a non-contributing marriage, a marriage which is traumatizing me internally, with a salary of 7,000 rupees, a 3.5-year-old, to create the life that I dream, to create a life that I know exists. And 10 years from now, creating the kind of success that I want, creating the kind of relationship that I want, earning almost 100 times more than what I was earning then. It all happened from a decision that I took then. If I wouldn't have taken decisions then, I wouldn't have reached here now. So I want you to answer. I want you to tell me that what decisions did you take at that time that got you to reach where you have reached. And this is the importance of decisions. This is the impact that decisions make in our life. Like whatever you're going to decide now will decide your 10 years from now. 10 years will for sure arrive. 10 years from now will for sure come. 2018, 2028 will for sure come. I want you to answer, and I want you to know and think for your own self that 10 years will come. How are you going to arrive 10 years from now? How are you going to be 10 years from now? What is it that you're going to do? It can be any decisions in your life. It can be a decision about your career. Probably you want to pick up a job, or probably you want to leave a job. It can be a decision about your relationship. Probably you want to rework on a relationship with anybody. It can be your spouse, it can be your parents, it can be your siblings, it can be your friends. You want to probably heal a relationship, or you want to probably let go a toxic relationship of your life. It can be about your health. It can be probably that you want to go work out, you want to go take up exercise, or it is time for you to decide of not doing exercising, or to take up a diet, or to stop dieting. It can be a decision about your investments, about buying a house or about not buying a house. It can be any form of decisions, but every decision that you're going to take now is going to decide how your 10 years from now is going to be. So what decisions are you taking now, and how is that going to show up in 10 years from now? Write down in the comments and tell me, what are the decisions? What is it that you would want to take up? What decisions would you want to make today? You know, circumstances will come, difficulties will come, and that's what life is. But how we respond to a difficulty, how we respond to a circumstance, how we respond to a challenge is what shapes up our destiny. It's not the circumstance that shapes your destiny. You know, circumstance does not shape your destiny. Let me again tell you, circumstance does not shape your destiny. It's not circumstances. It is not the circumstances. It is the decisions that shapes your destiny. The decision that shapes your destiny. How you choose to respond to a circumstance is how your destiny is going to be. So the decision you made in that particular challenge, in that particular circumstance, is going to be deciding your future. Either you can at this point make a decision or tell me or decide that, yes, Smita, I am from today no more going to give up excuses. I am from today no more going to, delay my decisions. I am from today no more going to delay my, my focus on my health, or I am from today no more going to delay that investment that I have been putting away. Or you can give me excuses. Probably you are there listening to this and telling me that, Smita, you don't know what my life is. You don't know what is happening with me. You don't know how much trauma I'm going through. You don't know that my parents didn't treat me well. I don't have the right kind of education. I don't have the right kind of skills. I don't have the right kind of circumstance. I don't have the right kind of money. You could be thinking of 10,000 beliefs or excuses. These are our belief systems that we have given to our own self, which is nothing but an excuse, a reason that you have given to your own self. You're convincing yourself of why you can't make your life the way you want it to be, why you can't create your life the way you want it to be. You're just giving yourself reasons and you're just giving yourself excuses to not do that. So at this moment, at this point, you can either decide that you want to give up all these excuses. Even that is going to be a decision. Let me tell you, not taking a decision itself is a decision. People don't take up decisions. They don't take up, like, if you have to take a particular decision. Let's take an example of your career. If you want to take up a particular decision about your career, of leaving a job that is just not doing any good to you, that doesn't have any scope for growth. If you have to take a decision based on that, people just don't take that decision because they think that not taking that decision will keep them safe. But let me tell you, not taking a decision itself is a decision. The minute you have not taken that decision, you have taken a decision of not taking that decision, which will again shape up your future 10 years from now. So you always have a choice, and everything you're doing or not doing is a decision. So circumstances will come. You have a choice to either choose excuses or choose to take an empowering decision and move towards your future. It's up to you. So you decide today of what you want to do. And every time you are encountered with a problem, every time you are encountered with a difficult situation, this is what I do and this is what I believe in. That every time I am in a problem, I am in a difficult situation, I remind myself that someone somewhere out there has a problem bigger than mine. Someone somewhere out there has had a problem bigger than mine and has still found a way out to come out of it, to conquer that particular situation, to deal with that challenge, and to achieve the kind of success, to achieve the kind of life, to create the kind of dreams, to conquer their dreams and to live their dreams the way they wanted it. I always remind myself of this every time I am encountered with a difficult situation, with a challenging situation. And yes, mind does say that, give up, quit, let's not do it. So the minute that comes, that's the time I remind myself that someone somewhere has had a problem or a situation or a challenge which is bigger than mine, and they have achieved it, and they have conquered it, and they have overcome it, and they are victorious. They have conquered their dreams. They're living the dream life that they wanted to live. And one of the greatest example is, if you Google out, you will find out Nick Vujicic. I think his name is called as Vujicic. So Nick is how I know it. He was born with a very special health condition where he did not have his limbs and his arms. So he was down for a long time of his life. He felt lonely, he felt depressed, he felt suicidal. But he also heard somebody's video where a handicapped person had overcome the challenge, and that's the time he realized that if a specially abled person can overcome their challenge, I can also overcome my challenge and not look at these limitations. And today he's an inspiration. He has written books, he gives talks, and he's a world-class speaker and living such a successful life and such a happy life. He's got such a wonderful family, and he's doing so well in all the aspects of his life. So I always go back and remind myself, and internet is filled with inspirational stories like this. You can just go and Google people who overcome their struggles, people who went against all the odds, people who made difficult decisions, and you will find people with whom you can resonate to, who have made those tough decisions in life and who have made those decisions of not letting any situation conquer them, not let any situation defeat them. Rather, they have decided to overcome that situation. So I'm again asking you, what decision would you want to make? So Siddharth says, hi Smita. Hi Siddharth. So I would want to know, what decisions are you going to make today that's going to shape up your future 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Your decisions today are going to shape your future. Your decisions today are going to decide how you're going to arrive 5 years from now. So you have this minute, this point, to either give up your excuses or hold on to it. Even that's going to be a choice. But then I want you to today know that even that's a choice, even that's a decision that you have made, to hold on to your excuses, So you have a choice to either hold on to these reasons, these beliefs. And I'm not saying that they are not true. I'm not saying that, they are not real. I'm not saying that, oh, they don't exist. Yes, I acknowledge that they exist and empathize with you. But I know that you have the power, you have the strength to overcome it, because each one of us has that. Each one of us is born with that inner strength, with that inner courage, with that inner power. We have to just take these excuses and put it away. Like, take it, like literally take it, take it hold it in your hands, hold all your excuses in your hands. Just literally do this with me, Hold your excuses, like collect your excuses. Let's collect all your excuses that you have been giving to your own self for not creating the life the way you want it. Collect those excuses and let's just put that away. Put it away. And let's take that first step forward, walk forward towards your dream, towards the kind of life that you want to live. So what happens? What is the reason that people can't make decisions, Decisions are important. Yes, they shape your future, and I think a lot of us know that probably. However, even after knowing that, just knowing is not important. Action is power. Action is what actually is the, formula for success. So what happens that even after knowing that people are not taking the decisions, what is the reason? The reason is simple. There's only one reason because of which people don't take decisions. Your focus. Your focus. So your focus is the reason people don't take decisions. Now what do you will ask me, what do you mean by focus is the reason that people don't take decisions? When there is a problem, you have a choice. As I said, every minute is a choice. Every minute you have a choice to decide of what you're going to do. So you have a choice of what do you want to focus on. If you're constantly focusing on failing, you're constantly focusing on being rejected, you're constantly focusing on how it will not work out in life, then you are never going to take that action towards taking that decision or towards taking that particular step in life. You will not decide to take that particular step in life, because for your mind, it's always, mind doesn't like pain. Mind doesn't like pain. It doesn't want pain in life. So mind doesn't like pain. Yeah. So if you're going to be focusing on failures, if you're going to be focusing on problems, if you're going to be focusing on how it will not work out, you're going to be focusing on how you'll be rejected, then it is too much of a pain for your mind to go and take that action. Like, it doesn't like pain, so it doesn't want pain, so it will just not take that particular action. It doesn't want it. So it's very painful to take that particular action, and the mind decides, okay, this is too troublesome, this is too much of a pain, and I don't want it. So it doesn't take the action. So where is your focus? Like, I had this client who was working towards her business, and she was seeking for an investor. And she was looking for an investor, and she met a person who actually helps people in connecting to investors. Now, she was actually looking out for an investor for her business, and she meets a person through a reference whose job is to connect people to investor. So did she talk to that person about what she's looking out for? No, she did not. Why she did not? She came back and told me that I met this person who connects people to investors. And I was like, oh wow, superb. So that's going to make your job easier, right? So did you speak to him? What did he say? And she told me that no, Smita, I did not speak to him. And I was like, why? This is what you were looking for, right? Why you did not speak to him? So she said he deals with investors who are working with, multi-billion crore kind of a project, and with big corporates, and they invest into big projects. And I don't need so much of a money, so probably he'll not be interested in my project. Now her mind has already gone forward and decided and thought and analyzed, and it is seeing the pain, it is seeing the failure, it's seeing the rejection. That, oh shit, he will say that I don't work with such small projects, I don't work with such small investments, so I will not do it for you. She's already concluded it. She's already focusing on that pain, and she did not speak to him. And then we spoke, and I worked on her, and with a lot of coaching, with one session where I'm constantly working on her, asking her the right kind of questions, changing her thought process, changing her mental dialogue. Finally got her to come to terms with, yes, at least go and ask this guy, what's the worst case scenario? He will say no, but that's fine. Let's first at least ask, you never know. And she again took the courage to connect back to the guy and went ahead and asked this guy. And guess what? He was more than happy to help. He did see the business model, and he liked the business model, and he said, yes, I will help you. And there she is. Boom. Yeah, so it is possible only if you focus on a positive outcome. I'm not saying think positive. Only if you're focusing on success, you're focusing on your dream, you're focusing on a pleasurable situation which will give you happiness, which will give you joy, then will you take that decision. If your focus is constantly on the pain, your focus is constantly on failure. I know of so many people, so many women I'm working with, or even men who are my friends. I know of people who haven't spoken to the person that they love during their college days, and are still guessing, do you think he would have ever loved me? Like, yes, how will I know that? Because you never asked that person, right? And there are so many women I work with, and they always tell me, I like this guy during my college days, and I never asked him. I was waiting for him to ask me, because I did not know if I ask him, what if he says or no? And you're still sitting and guessing that, did he love me? Do you think? How will I know? How will you know? Because you never asked. Yeah, so that's the reason people don't take decisions, because they're worried about failure, they're worried about rejections, they're worried about, what is the outcome going to be. So even before it's going to be, they have decided that it's going to be failure. And then the decision doesn't happen, because your mind doesn't want to focus on that. Your mind doesn't want to focus on a failure. Your mind doesn't like to focus on pains. So you will not take that decision, and you will not take that action. You just don't decide to act on that particular thing. Shift your focus. If you want to achieve something in life, shift your focus. Focus differently. A lot of time, again, a different thing that people do is they focus on a short-term scenario rather than a long-term scenario. Like, if you want to achieve, let's say if you want to lose 30 kgs of weight, so that's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work of eating the right kind of food, probably giving up unhealthy food, working out, putting yourself to the strains and stress of working out. So there can be a number of things. There can be a number of pains to achieve that end result that you will have to go through. So rather than focusing on the long-term goal of how will you feel when you would have achieved that weight loss of 30 kg, how would your body feel, how would you feel, how would it change you as a person, how will you internally feel differently, what people focus on is the pain in the short term. Yeah, they are focusing on, oh my god, I'll have to give up on to my favorite food. Oh my god, I'll not have to eat that vada pav. Oh my god, I'll not have to eat that pizza. I'll have to wake up every day and go for my exercise. And they're focusing on the pain, which is a short-term pain, to achieve a long-term pleasure. So rather than focusing on the long-term pleasure, they're again focusing on a pain, but a pain which is a short-term scenario. If you want to create a multi-crore dollar company or an industry or a, dream for your own self, then you will have to go through certain extra hours of working, probably giving up on certain holidays, probably missing on to certain weddings and certain birthday parties, probably you will have to stay up late, probably you'll have to wake up early, probably you'll have to work a lot on your inner mindset, probably you'll have to ensure that your thinking is right and your attitudes are right, you'll have to change your belief system, probably you'll have to meet the right kind of mentors and right kind of coaches who can help you change this inner structure for you so that you can achieve the outer success. Probably you'll have to go through a certain short-term pains, a short-term struggle, a short-term giving up of things which you like to do to achieve that particular dream. And rather than connecting to that particular dream, rather than focusing on the pleasure that achieving that dream will give, they are focusing on a short-term trouble, on a short-term, short-term giving up of pleasures that they will have to do. And that's again where the mind doesn't want to do it. It doesn't want to take that decision. It doesn't want to take that action. Yeah, so you have to shift your focus from pain to the pleasure, shift your focus from short-term to long-term, shift your focus from the failures to successes, shift your focus from rejection to self-approval. You will have to choose that, do you want to focus on the failure or do you want to focus on the success? You will have to you will have to decide that, do you want to focus on the approval of others or do you want to live your dream life? It's your choice. Yes, people might say 10,000 things, when you want to do something, when you want to achieve a particular dream, like whenever I talk about my vision, I talk about my mission, I talk about my goals, I have a lot of people who tell me, oh Smita, this is too big, do you think you'll achieve it? Oh Smita, this is not possible, you're just thinking too big, it's not doable, you cannot do it, not doable. So you have a choice to either buy that point of view from them, to either buy that opinion from them, or just smile at them and tell them it's okay. That's fine. Because it's not their vision, right? It's not their mission. They're not going to get it any which ways. And it's fine because God did not give them that mission. God gave you that mission. It might sound unrealistic. It might sound undoable today. It might sound, too big. It might sound that probably nobody has done it before. You can be the first one who can do it. Don't buy others' opinions. You're buying others' opinions because you want to be safe. Oh, tomorrow if I fail, it shouldn't happen that people come and tell me that, I had told you so. Let them tell you so. At least you attempted. At least you put your efforts. At least you did what you're supposed to do. Rather than waiting and watching and letting time go by, letting days go by, letting your life go by, and reaching the end of your life and then feeling sorry about it and then regretting about it. I read books, I read videos, I know of my friends who work with people who towards the last days of their life. I have worked in hospitals and I have visited wards, cancer wards, and I have seen hospitals, very, 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 traumatic wards, which I don't even like to go, ICUs and, people in ventilators and, so when they are close to their death, most of them are regretting the decisions that they have not taken. Most of them are regretting that they did not follow their dreams. Most of them are regretting that they did not choose a happy relationship. A lot of them are regretting that they did not walk out of a toxic relationship. A lot of them are regretting that they did not express their love to their loved ones. So you have a choice today. You have a choice today to decide what do you want to focus on. You have a choice today to take a decision. And remember, not taking a decision itself is a decision. So it's up to you today to choose, to decide, and to shift your focus from what others are saying to what you really dream of. And to shift your focus from a short term to a long term. To shift your focus from failure to success. And once you do that, you are naturally going to be pushed and pulled internally to take those decisions, to take those actions, which will take you towards your dream life. But before that, you have to decide how you want your life is going to be. How do you want your life to be? Rather than, we are the only people, human beings are the only people who have got this capability to design things, to internally use your mind to change your responses. Animals act by instinct. You're going to harm an animal, the animal will jump and pounce and attack and bite you. But that's not how human beings are meant to be. We can always tune ourselves, we can always change our responses, and you can choose to respond in a situation rather than react. And each minute of your life is going to be a decision of how you want your 10 years from now, how you want your future for now. So thank you so much for joining again, and I wish you all the best, and I wish that you achieve all the success and all the dream of your life, and take the decisions today that will lead you to a successful future 10 years from now. You can write to me at support@nomoreexcusespro.com. You can put your comments here and ask me any questions that you would want to ask, or any questions that you would want to be answered, and I'm going to be there to take you in this journey forward, to help you achieve your success and the kind of love and life that you want to achieve and you want to live. So bye, and thank you so much for joining in again. We will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.